She is a tireless advocate of dialogue between Iran and the U.S. But on a 2007 trip to Tehran, she was accused of treason, arrested, and placed in solitary confinement for 105 days. Director of the Middle East program at the Woodrow Wilson Center, Haleh Esfandiari. I'm Maria Hinojosa. This is One on One. On this side, while you were being detained, we knew that you were an Iranian-American academic, the head of the Woodrow Wilson Center Middle East program. But why do you believe ultimately that you were arrested, interrogated? Why were you the target?
I was the target of the Iranian intelligence ministry and the office of the president, President Ahmadinejad. And they believed that the United States was going to overthrow the regime, but because it was bogged down in Iraq and in Afghanistan, don't forget it was during the previous administration in 2007, so they would resort to what they would call soft means. And the instrument for bringing about such regime change through a velvet revolution, through soft means, were American foundations, American think tanks, and American universities. They didn't know how these institutions in the United States work.
So let me interrupt you. So basically, the Iranian intelligence ministry and president's office believed that the Woodrow Wilson Center, and you specifically, were holding conferences around Iranian issues, not with the intention of having academic dialogue, but with the ultimate intention of furthering American government policy to destabilize Iran.
Perfectly. You put it perfectly. Their idea or their understanding was that we are inviting, with the Wilson Center or other foundation, other think tanks, whatever, we're inviting Iranian academic basically to recruit them. And
so you're like a spy? I mean, you were like operating on
behalf of the American government. And, I would argue back for 8 months. I had back and forth argument with these people and trying to explain how these institutions in the United States work, that universities are not affiliated to the U.S. government, that think tanks are independent, and foundations, not only support, let's say, a program on Iran, but they support program on poverty, alleviating poverty, and many other things, for example, but didn't make headway at all because they were convinced that this was all a front and that I was the perfect, target for the U.S. government to be recruited and to be sent to Iran to invite people, which was ridiculous,
But at the same time, the U.S. government, not only the Bush administration, but other governments in the past, have not been completely honest in terms of their relationships with other governments. There are stories of U.S. involvement in overthrows, whether they were soft overthrows or direct overthrows. So, if you put yourself in the mind of the Iranian government, they could in fact say, yeah, the United States, they've done this before.
Yeah, but look, Iran sees itself as the mightiest power in the Persian Gulf region. Okay, I remember one day through my interrogation, when again they brought up this whole notion of velvet revolution, I said, look, Iran is not a banana republic to be overthrown by 20 academics who come and take part in conferences. You consider yourself the mightiest power in the Persian Gulf. How do these two notions reconcile with each other? And they said, banana republic? What is a banana republic? And then I had to go into this, long lecture of what a banana republic is, because in Persian it sounded very funny.